Yeah, so attachment theory informs couples therapy because, well, one of the keys with having a successful partnership is really understanding how your partner's brain works, sort of what makes them tick, why do they do what they do. And we actually don't typically know really why we do what we do, so trying to explain it when we get in these conversations, often we're sort of missing the mark. But if we have some frameworks that we can fit into, like attachment theory, to really explore who we are and who our partner is, it can kind of help not just with increasing compassion for who our partner is and realizing, okay, they're not doing this to bug me, or to try to hurt me. This is sort of how they got wired, based on their experiences, and really understanding where that comes from can help. But also it can kind of guide what we do depending on who our partner is. So for attachment specifically, and I talked about how you can be this island who is more likely to be comfortable with aloneness and want to be independent, or this wave who's more comfortable with connection. Actually, one classic way of determining whether you're more of an island or a wave is for islands, the experience of having someone approach them is what kind of creates the stress, because they sort of are good at, when they're alone, they can do a lot of self-soothing, which they had to do as a child because of neglect. So they're used to kind of just taking care of themselves, and they know how to do that. That's their rhythm. So when someone comes in, it can feel like jarring and not as comfortable. Whereas for a wave, having someone go away is very stressful and it activates them. And often I see couples that are island, one's an island and one's a wave, and that's a really interesting issue to work with. But for instance, so if you know that your partner is a wave, that for them, closeness is what's going to settle them, it's really an important thing to know. Because sometimes, like for waves, if they're angry because you're not there, they can look like they're trying to push you away because they're angry at the disconnect. So they'll be like, oh, go away, or da-da-da, or just kind of yelling or shutting down or even pulling away. But if you know them and you know, okay, their system doesn't do well with distance, so it got out of whack. And the only medicine for that for them is going to be closeness. It's like, it can be counterintuitive because they look like they're mad. But what I'll teach my island partners to do, and it's counterintuitive because they would want distance, but is to step in sort of through the turbulent waters and go straight toward their partner and give them a hug and say, I'm here for you. I'm not leaving. Like beelining for them and holding them close. It's actually incredibly counterintuitive in those moments, but if you know who your partner is and their attachment history and why they are who they are, then it gives you some tools and empowerment for how to like help them come back to like their pleasant, like able to relate and be nice self. Sure. The kind of couples therapy I do, which is called PACT, a psychobiological approach to couples therapy, it's very experiential. So we do a lot of kind of role play exercise, just experiences to bring this to life. So even the example I was just saying, I might have someone stand up and I'm going to say the woman, that's stereotypical, but the woman be in a kind of, say, show me what that looks like when you're getting angry, and kind of act that out a little bit, and just watching how the other partner, male or female, how they respond to that really subtly in their body. Like you can just watch and be like, oh, look, and we kind of pause it right there. Like, what's happening in that moment? Are you wanting to pull away? What happens? What are you tracking on their face? Like really breaking it down very concretely. Like, okay, and what look let you know that she was about to pull away? See if they're reading each other accurately. And then sometimes I'll just say, okay, and I'll kind of push them together even, get my hand on their back and say, okay, come in for the hug. And they're like, oh, just doing something different. And then they hold the person, and then it's like, oh, and then that person relaxes. Like, oh, I didn't know they were going to do that. They look like they didn't want anything to do with me. But when I gave them a hug, they just immediately started giggling. It's like to really have a new type of interaction that's experiential. That's why I really love that way of working with couples, because previously couples work was very heady, conversational, like it was just communication training almost, like how do you make an I statement and things like that, which is fine, but when we are really triggered, in other words, when we're in our fight or flight mode, it's not our rational, self that part kind of goes, all that technique-y stuff kind of goes out the window. Our ability to sit and have a rational, let's just talk about it. You know, it's like all that just goes out the window. And so sometimes we need things that are a little bit more immediate, like how to come close, how to get someone's eyes, you know, how to touch, you know, it's like how to do things that calm both people's nervous system so that way they can then engage in a conversation.